So there's the water coming from the supply and going into the boiler. Once it fills up, the boiler will heat this water up and it will steam it. So here is the Waterwise 7000 distiller in operation. So what I have here is it is connected right now to my garden hose, but you can connect it to obviously any water source you want with the right attachment. And it's feeding through this water tube over here to the pre-filter. This is a carbon pre-filter. It's an extra accessory. And the water goes into this filter, comes out the other end, and it feeds into the back of the distilling machine right there. From there you can hear the machine operating right now. And it takes the water and it pumps it in through the water tubes, and it comes right in here into the boiler. The boiler boils the water and it comes out as steam through this end. So you can hear the fan just kicked in because it's starting to pick up some of the steam now. The steam comes back through these pipes here. That's, you might recognize that as a standard distillate, or like they do with the beer, how they make the beer. And it comes through these condenser coils and it drips down in here into this tank. This is an 8-gallon tank, and as the water fills up here, you will see this red ball here at the bottom here will start to float all the way up to the top of the tube, and that's how you know you've got 8 gallons of water. This unit is running right now. Okay, so the distiller's been running for a few minutes now, and as you can see, the outlet tube of the boiler pot is receiving, if you look really close, you can see the little bubbles, the air, the steam. So the steam is going through that tube where it will make its way over to the condensing coils and be condensed down into water that will drip into the big tank below. You see how the machine's gently rocking back and forth here? That's because I'm on the uneven floor here on my garage, and I set it up so that it can prove to you that when the water is boiling, it tends to kind of make it rock a little bit, like the pot of water on your stove would. So here's how you know that it's actually steaming up and distilling. Of course, on a flat surface, you won't see the machine do this. Here you can see after many hours of operation, the float is almost all the way up to the top here, indicating that the distiller has been filling the tank, and the float is indicating that the water level inside the tank is rising. And if you look closely again here, you can see that the still is still rocking a little bit. That's sort of indicating that the boiling process is working because it's balanced on an unlevel floor. And here you can see now the distiller has stopped automatically because the level here inside the tank has reached the top. And sure enough, if you pull the lid up and you'll see the ball float move, you'll hear it start back up again. And it turns off again when I put it back. So that's how you know that the water is at the top here and the float has turned off the distiller. Now let's test the water coming out of the spigot. Comes out pretty good. Okay, now this unit here comes equipped with this extra little bonus item here on the bottom. This is a $500 accessory. This is called the remote faucet pump. And what this does is this takes water right from the tank here and it pumps it through this hose, and you'll want to add a hose to go long distance throughout your house, like maybe to one of those faucets on top of your sink that dispenses the fresh water. And what you do is you just turn on the switch here and you'll see the water pumping out. See? A good pressure. So you know this pump works. It's working just perfectly. And since we squirted out some of the water, you can see the distiller has automatically turned back on now because we lowered the level of the tank.